Evening biology, let's talk about it. Good morning, afternoon, evening biology, let's talk about it. So, first big thing, this is basically the majority of our unit in 2 pages. And you can honestly fit it on one, but I split it into two just so we can have a better breakdown of it. So this is cell cycle and mitosis, which is part of that cycle. So first big thing, this whole thing is just how you exist. So if you get scratched by your cat or dog, are you doomed to have that scratch forever? No, you heal. It takes a little bit, but you will heal. It may become a scar if it's deep enough, but you will heal. And this is once again our cells replicating to replace cells that die and parts of us that die because cells die more often than not. And it's once again replacing those, healing up injuries. And this is just the process interphase. And then the M phase is a much shorter phase, about 10% of our cell cycle, splits, and there we go. G0 is one thing that we're adding in talking about. It's where the cell cycle will just basically go on a pause. It's resting. It's not dividing or preparing to divide. But other than that, it's just there. A thing to be aware of. So, the cell cycle itself is the events that take place for cells to grow and divide. There's interphase and there's actual mitosis. Interphase is the period between the cell divisions. It's everything outside of mitosis. It's going to include several parts. Please feel free to pause this video whenever you need to get notes down. All of this is interphase in this block right here. Mitosis is once again going to be on the next page because it is also a very complex process. I'm going to push it back down. Our G1 phase, for both of our G's, think growth and development. So, G1 phase, that's going to be all the cell contents besides chromosomes will duplicate or be duplicated. This phase is focused on growth. The G phase is we are growing in preparation for mitosis. S phase is going to be the DNA synthesis phase. All of your chromosomes, all 46 of them, all 23 pairs are duplicated at this time. This is when our DNA is copied. Then, in our G2 phase, think growth again. The biggest difference is that this one is double checking DNA for replication errors and it's preparing to divide. Let's look at our last two big pieces. That is interphase. The only thing outside of interphase, or only two things outside of interphase really, is mitosis, which we're going to look at the next page, and then our actual G0, which is where it's leaving and it's not preparing for division, it's not dividing, it is just outside the cell cycle completely. This is very prevalent in, for example, brain cells as you get older. And that's part of why sometimes there are some age-related memory issues or age-related like motor control issues and such. So let's talk about mitosis. And once again, that's because brain cells dying and not being replaced, kind of thing. So mitosis, this is the actual cell division for all somatic cells. PMAT is one of the ways we think of it. PMAT plus C is how we usually explain and talk about it. Our prophase is going to be, once again, our nuclear envelope is dissolving. We can see our chromosome starting to be visible. Metaphase is middle, lines up. Anaphase is getting pulled apart. And then telophase is going to be where our nuclear envelopes are reforming and is beginning to have everything else split. Cytokinesis is the actual splitting of the cytoplasm and cell membrane. In words, let's look at that. So mitosis, once again, is actual division of somatic cells. Somatic cells are basically any body cell that's not involved in reproduction, so it's not gametes, it's not sperm or egg cells. Sperm or egg cells, wow, I went very southern right there. It's not sperm or egg cells, it is just talking about our everything else in our body. So that's your brain cells, skin cells, any of your organs. Pretty much, once again, everything we actually think of as cells is just not the reproductive ones. So PMAT plus C. So PMAT plus C. I know it's a really gross mnemonic, or not mnemonic, but for a thing to think of, but it's an easy way for us to think about it. So prophase, that is going to be where the chromatin is condensing. That's all of our DNA is condensing.